All right. Hey y'all, what is up? Welcome back to another video. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Chanina. Hey girl, hey. And today, y'all, I want to take a look at the system equipment policy. It was updated on March 29th. Today is April 3rd, and I haven't had a chance to look at it, so I figured we look at it together. Um, Hopefully this will run smooth. You guys know that I've been having headset issues for those that's been following my recent video. So I'm hoping that I won't be cutting in and out or anything like that. I haven't tested it out. We're just going to go with a leap of faith here and hope that it all works out. So again, welcome back to the channel. We're going to talk about the system and equipment policy for the Arise Virtual Solutions platform. Again, they just put a new one out here a few days ago, and we're just going to take a quick peek at it and maybe talk about some things if necessary. Again, I'm looking at this myself for the first time. So hopefully it's straightforward to the point and not confusing to any of us. So let's get right into it. We're going to scroll through our cover page here. Let's see. System and equipment policy. Right, having the right equipment is a critical component for a successful and efficient use of the Arise platform. I agree. I've been working on this platform since 2016, and I've had just about every tech issue that you could think of, with the exception of ASD, because I've never used the ASD before. But everything outside of that, girl, been there, done that. So let's see. It's saying we have put this policy together to help ensure service partners and their agents are set up to effectively service one or more of the great client programs on our platform. To use the Arise platform, the system and equipment requirements on the following pages must be met. It is important to remember these are the minimum requirements needed to use the Arise platform only. So this is not for any other platform other than Arise. So no live ops, work at home solutions, none of that. This is strictly for the Arise platform. Certain client programs may have additional requirements above and beyond the ones listed in this policy. All service partners should review the opportunity announcement for the client program they are interested in servicing, in addition to this policy, prior to enrolling in a certification course. So, really quick, an opportunity announcement for those that are not sure. It's basically a PDF such as this one that pops up that has information about each client program that you're interested in. So when you're on the platform and you're looking at the opportunities, once you click on the opportunity or the client that's available, which is actually in hyperlink, it'll open up to a PDF and it'll have tons of information on there. And one of the things that it'll get into is the system and equipment requirements for that particular program. So, for example, on this, will probably run into like headsets and stuff like that, but in addition you may need a flash drive for the ASD setup to work the client programs, and we'll talk about that, I'm pretty sure, as we go along here. So let's run through this really quick, you guys. We're going to just skip the table of contents here and head right to our first page, which is the PC requirements. Minimum and recommended. So CPU speed, Intel I class or better, or AMD APU class or better, clocked at dual core 1.4 gigahertz or better. Note, ARM or ARM-based processors are not supported. For example, Microsoft Surface and Chrome OS-based PCs. For your hard drive, you will have to have a minimum of 20 gigabytes or more of available space, 60 gigabytes or more of total space. But the recommended is 30 gigabytes or more of available space and 60 gigabytes or more of total space. Regarding memory for your computer, you want to make sure that you have at least 4 gigabytes of RAM. The recommended is 8 gigabytes of RAM. Okay. Operating system. So Windows 8 has officially phased out on the Arise platform, so there are no clients on the platform that support Windows 8 operating system. So right now, it's the minimum is Windows 10, but the new recommended is now Windows 11. In those spaces, it used to be the minimum was Windows 8 and the recommended was Windows 10, but we have evolved with the Windows operating system. So now the minimum is 10 and the recommended is 11. Windows needs to be a genuine licensed copy with all updates and patches installed. Beta and developer versions will not be supported. So you want to keep that in mind. Okay. Um, Standard connection and speed. So you're going to hear this quite a few times, I'm sure, because it's something that is stressed a lot on the Arise platform. And a lot of you guys have asked me about this. And okay, so Wi-Fi is a no-go, you guys. There's no way around it. There's no wireless. They're not going to prohibit it. And to be quite honest with you, you guys, you're going to run into a whole lot of issues trying to service over Wi-Fi because you're not servicing over a secured connection. So I would not recommend trying to go to Starbucks to service or use your Wi-Fi at home. You're just going to run into a lot of issues. So, and it's probably going to mention that a couple times in here because that is something again that is stressed on the platform. Like there's no Wi-Fi, and they will be able to tell because you'll start having a lot of issues with connecting to your systems. And when you go to tech support and they run your system to make sure everything is good, they're going to be able to see that you're not connected hardwired, that you're doing this over Wi-Fi. You don't want to run into any issues with that. Okay. So let's see, maximum latency threshold. The minimum requirement is 120 milliseconds. The maximum is 50. Okay. Monitor recommendations, resolution, minimum requirement is 1280 by 1024. The recommended is 920 by 1080. So that's full HD or 1080p. We talk about dual monitors a lot on this channel. I always recommend it, and they've put it here as well. Um, Minimum requirement is some programs may require dual monitors, but excuse me, dual monitors are definitely recommended. I'm telling you guys right now, just based on personal experience, y'all, you'll save yourself a lot of frustration. If you have two monitors, it is going to be hard to do everything from one monitor because truth be told, you're going to have different things pulled up all at once while you're servicing a call. And, you don't want to get flustered trying to move screens out of the way and flipping back and forth between different, screens to look up stuff or answer questions or complete tasks. Like you don't want to run into that issue. So having two monitors will be your lifesaver as far as servicing on this particular platform. USB 3.0 port required for use with USB headsets and flash drives. Okay. Anything less than that, you'll probably run into an issue. Prohibited items. I see this has changed. Netbooks, Chromebooks, tablets, or other mobile devices. So you can't service any of the client platforms using these devices, right? It's already AB understood that you're not going to be able to do this over your cell phone. It'll be too hard to do. It just Yeah, it'll just be too hard to do, and you'll just, girl, it's just not recommended, okay? I would not try and do this over your cell phone. It honestly, if I'm being Real with you guys, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to even try. Okay. No longer supported Mac OS. All right, so let's keep going here. Let's see. Please note these are the basic requirements, both minimum and recommended, for use of the Arise platform only. Certain client systems may necessitate higher or additional requirements. Please review all opportunity announcements carefully for details regarding such requirements. Okay. Service partners must service on the computer they use to perform the PC scan at the time of enrollment. Okay. So basically, what they're saying is don't do the PC scan from your friend's computer and then go home and try to service on a different computer. It's just not going to work out. So I wouldn't recommend even trying. Okay. Save yourself some time. Life is too short. Just go ahead and do the PC scan, your enrollment, all of those things from the computer that you're going to be actually servicing from. Okay. If it's determined that your computer is different than the one you used at the time of an enrollment and it is incompatible with the client program, you will not be permitted to service. Okay. All right, so let's keep going here. Let's see other requirements: mobile devices, accessories, and software. Smartphones or other mobile devices are used for multi factor authentication. Almost stumbled there. Authentication and other security verification processes only. So, this is the one and only time that your cell phone will be used in the process of you logging on to your systems. Okay, so there's a VPN that we log into first, so that you can verify yourself, and that's done through your cell phone. So there's an app that you're going to have to download. It's called Okta, OKTA, and your authentication verification will be done through that app. And this is typically done prior to being able to log into any other system or client system that you need. If you're not logged into this, you're not going to be able to log into anything else. Okay. Required accessories, we talk about that a lot: headsets, dial pads, things like that. So, hardwire USB headset with phone quality audio. So that's this right here, and that's where your calls are going to be coming through your computer. So you will need a headset to answer those calls. And then you have the hardwired telephone and headset. So this is your dial pad. So this is in the case that you're working a client program that requires a landline phone and your calls are coming through your house phone. And this is what you would use to answer those calls. Okay. Um, AB understood, keyboard and mouse. So, of course, all computers pretty much come with these accessories. If you have a laptop and you don't have a mouse that you can use, I do recommend having a separate mouse. I do not recommend using the mouse that is built into your laptop. Just so that you're doing your calls more efficiently, less mistakes, things like that. So I do recommend a separate mouse. If you want to get a separate keyboard, that's always helpful as well. Um, I've done that. I've had a laptop and a separate keyboard. It actually is better, in my opinion, but whatever works for you. But I do recommend having a separate mouse if you have a laptop. For software, Windows Firewall must be enabled. Update web browsers must be installed, and the most recent installation or update must be on your equipment there. So Edge, Mozilla Firefox, or Chrome for Windows. I personally go between Edge and Chrome. um, and the most updated version must be installed into your computer, and you're able to do that from the updates. When you open your Chrome browser and these other browsers, you'll be able to update to the latest version. The Windows security real time protection must be enabled and up to date. So always check your Windows security to make sure that it's up to date. If it's not up to date, you are eventually going to run into some issues. This is something that actually happened to me when I first started servicing on the platform. I was using a laptop where at the time I didn't think that window updates were important. So I would just ignore it. But then after a while, I couldn't ignore it anymore because my computer wasn't functioning properly. And I spent like a couple of weeks with tech support trying to figure out what was happening. And ultimately, it came down to the Windows updates. So I basically had to get in touch with Windows and have them, help me to update my computer. And y'all, those I had so many updates, it took hours for my system to update. So that was a lot of missed intervals that I could have been working on the platform. So I messed myself up with that because I didn't know. So now I'm telling you guys, whenever you see that there's a Windows update available, go ahead and update your Windows. Don't wait. Don't set it to do it later or anything like that. Just go ahead and get it done because it'll save you a lot of time. Okay. All right, so let's keep moving here. Let's see other requirements. So we all know that we need internet to do this because you can't pull up a browser without the internet, and you need some sort of phone service, right? So let's look and see what it says. Here we go again. PC must be hardwired via Ethernet connection and it cannot be connected to Wi Fi. I told you guys, they're probably going to mention that a few times on this document, but let's read what it says here. Hardwired broadband internet service via DSL, cable, or a fiber optic connection. The use of wireless internet connections to access any Arise system at any time is prohibited, even if the connection is encrypted. Connectivity to the Arise platform through an unauthorized proxy service or unauthorized VPN service is strictly prohibited. Additionally, 5G, satellite, microwave, and cellular hotspot internet services are not permitted. USB connected modems are not supported. So again, everything must be hardwired in. So let's talk about this VPN service really quick because one of you guys did ask me in a previous video if you're able to use an outside source for your VPN service. So as you see here, it says it is strictly prohibited. So in other words, no, you cannot. You have to use the VPN service that is provided through the Arise platform, which is now Global Connect. It used to be Pulse Secure, but we've recently, in the last couple of weeks or so, switched over, and that is the only VPN that you're able to use. So the VPN is basically that Okta verification, authentication process that I was telling you guys about. That's the VPN. Okay. You can't get into any of your other systems until you successfully log into your VPN first. Okay. All right. So let's keep moving. Arise and or client's VoIP system. Review the opportunity announcement to determine what is required to service individual programs. Client programs which require a hardwired USB headset with phone quality audio do not require a dedicated phone service. In other words, if the client that you are servicing with requires you to have a VoIP headset, that means your calls are coming through your computer. So you won't necessarily have to have a landline number for that particular option. However, I do still recommend it because there's, speaking from past experience, I used to service a client where we started off working on this option right here, the dial pad. And then maybe like a year into it, we switched over to the VoIP headset. But then one day, we were having technical issues where we couldn't take calls over the VoIP headset, and temporarily they wanted us to switch back over to the dial pad. So ultimately, I had to have both for this particular client program, right? Just food for thought on that. Okay. So let's keep going. Where were we? Okay, so hardwire telephone service to the router, modem device, or wall outlet. Okay, again, mobile phones cannot be used to attend class or to service. Yeah, so in other words, if you're in certification, we all know that all we have to do is pull up browsers on our cell phones and we can log into just about anything that we can log into on a regular computer, right? They don't want you to do that. Reason being is because when you're in certification class, there are going to be moments throughout the class where you're going to have to do screen share. You're going to be doing a lot of things that you're not going to be able to successfully do on your cell phone. And so it just doesn't make sense to even try, as I mentioned before. Okay. So let's go over here. Let's see, review the opportunity announcement to determine what is required to service individual programs. I've explained what the opportunity announcement is in the beginning of this video. Client programs which require a hardwired telephone service are compatible with the following types of services. So POTS, which is just an acronym for plain old telephone service, cable telephony, so that's basically through your cable provider, right? So Xfinity, for example, I have a bundle. I have cable, phone, and internet. So my phone cord is not plugged into the wall. It's plugged into the back of the internet modem. So that's what they mean by cable telephony. And then digital service or VoIP through a physical hard phone. For example, a tangible device that sits on your desktop, which is that dial pad that we were just looking at not that long ago. The service should be connected directly from the router, modem device, or wall outlet to your telephone. No Wi-Fi. Okay. Soft phones, which is an application that is installed on your computer, are not permitted. The servicing telephone line should not interface at any point with the computer. Okay. All servicing telephone lines should not have voicemail, fax, or other features on the line other than unlimited long distance if necessary. So, voicemail, fax, and call waiting is what they're referring to when they say other features. Guys, if you have a phone service where it's like a bundle that includes these additional features and you're not able to manually disable them, reach out to your telephone provider or your phone service provider. Let them know that you work from home and that you need these features disabled. I'm going to tell you why. If you are servicing on the dial pad, which is where your phones are coming through your landline per se, and you're plugged into the wall outlet, that sort of deal, and you've got calls coming in, you'll be able to hear it, and so will the person that you're talking to. You'll hear that little tick noise. Everybody knows what it sounds like when you got another call coming in. There's like this beep noise, right? It's distracting. Your calls are going to be choppy because that noise is going to be going on. You'll have to keep asking your guests to repeat themselves or vice versa. You'll end up repeating yourself because you're not sure if they heard you. It's just not a good look. And then you also don't want it to be where you've got a call coming in, but it's going to your voicemail, right? Or they hear that annoying fax noise that we all hear when we call a number, and y'all know what it sounds like when you call a fax number, right? You don't want any of that to happen while you're servicing a call. I've had it happen to me before when I first started servicing on the platform. I didn't even realize I had the call waiting feature, and calls were coming in while I was on calls, and all you could hear was beep, beep, every time a call came in and the person that you're talking to, they acknowledge that you're breaking up. And it's just it's just save yourself and have those features disabled if you can. Okay. All right, so let's see. um Arise Virtual Gateway. The Arise Virtual Gateway is a system that helps improves consistency and efficiency while centrally and seamlessly managing call routing. Service partners may need long distance service. So that is true. You may need long distance service in order to service some client programs here. I would recommend having unlimited long distance service so that you're not paying the long distance charges that are, you know, put in place by your carrier. Okay. All right, so Arise Secure Desktop. Let's see. The Arise Secure Desktop Secure Remote Worker is a software only solution that is installed and runs on the Windows operating system, delivering a secure workspace environment for remote access and work from home. System requirements must meet the minimum or must meet the requirements listed on page 3. In addition, ASD must be installed and launched from your Windows desktop. So ASD is basically that flash drive that I had mentioned earlier. So there are some client programs where instead of you pulling up all of the systems on your computer, you're literally installing and building up the systems that you're going to be using on a flash drive. Okay, so if when you purchase a flash drive, make sure you're purchasing one that's just dedicated to the platform so that you're not, getting yourself into a situation where you're getting things confused and running out of space on the flash drive and all that, right? So when you put this flash drive into your computer, you'll be able to pull up all of your systems. When you take it out, it'll be like the systems don't exist. So that's basically what they're referring to with that. Then it goes into some security risk here. The following items are not considered security risk and are prohibited. I'm sorry, the following items are considered security risk and are prohibited on all systems accessing the Rise platform. This is just a list of them. Okay. And I'll have the link to this down in the bottom of the video if I hadn't said it already. All right, so additionally, servicing from an unauthorized location is prohibited. You must service in your country of residence. Service partners in the U.S., please note that the Arise platform is not available in California, Connecticut, Maryland, Massachusetts, New York, Oregon, Wisconsin, and Washington, D.C., or District of Columbia. So I've been asked this a few times. If you live in one of these states, can you register to the platform from another state if you're going to be moving there soon? And the answer is no, you have to register where you live. Okay, so they've added that in there. That didn't used to be in there, but they've added that in there. All right. Then it talks about the PC scan. Okay. So this is basically just general information about the PC scan. It is required to work on the platform. Everybody has to do it. It gives you some suggestions as to what to do before running the PC scan, how to run the PC scan. There's some instructions. So when you click on the link in the description box and you pull up the document and where it says click here for step-by-step instructions, you'll get another PDF explaining how to actually do it. If it doesn't open up for you, email me and I'll get it to you. I do have the instructions, so I'll just go ahead and email it to you if you need me to. Once you do the PC scan, you'll get your results. It'll let you know if you passed or if you failed. A lot of times, whatever you passed, it'll show up green. If there's an area in the PC scan that you didn't pass, it'll show up red. And these are basically the things that it is checking for. So all of those system requirements that we went over earlier, that's what it's checking for. And it'll basically tell you how to correct the issue if you failed under that particular topic. So like for example, under CPU, your PC processor is not compatible and cannot be used to service the Arise platform. You will need a computer with a supported processor, right? So it's telling you your resolution for that. Then it refers you back to page 3, which is what we were looking at earlier. Then it talks about the speeds, internet download and upload speeds. This is something that you can resolve through your internet service provider. You may have to upgrade your internet provider plan so that you have so that you're able to meet the minimum requirement for your upload and download speeds. Network latency, it gives you an idea of what you need to do for that. Again, it talks about hardwired connection and Wi-Fi. Your operating system, we already know if you have anything less than Windows 10, it's not going to work, right? And then your memory, it goes into how to resolve that if you need to, right? It tells you to contact a local technician for help to upgrade your memory. You can do that, or you can just replace your equipment if you have equipment that's a little bit out of date. Um, you know, you can do that. So there's different ways that you can resolve these issues. The one thing that's going to tell you that you need to replace your computer as a whole is the CPU. So if you fail the CPU, then none of this other stuff is really going to matter. You just, at that point, just need to upgrade your computer system, right? All right, so let's see what else. It looks like that was it, you guys. So thank you so much for viewing this document with me. It's not as long as it used to be, and it is straightforward to the point. So hopefully this was clear for all of those that are interested in working on the platform, but you're just kind of not sure, you're not really sure about what you need as far as your computer and all of that goes, so that you're able to work on the platform successfully. If there was something that wasn't mentioned regarding equipment and systems in this document, and you're curious and want to know, just let me know down in the comments, and I will do my best to answer those questions. If I don't know, of course, I'm just going to be honest with you and tell you I don't know. I'm not one for just BSing people, okay, and telling you anything just because. So we're pretty transparent about this platform. So you guys, I do have a whole playlist of working on this particular platform if you guys want to go and check it out. If you are interested in purchasing equipment, I also recommend YS Work at Home Equipment Solutions. That link will also be down below. It is an affiliate link, so you guys, if you do make a purchase, then I do get a little bit of a kickback, but I recommend it to everybody because, we're all on a budget. We're trying to save our coins, and they offer that solution for you guys. So thanks again for checking out the video. Leave a comment down below, say hello, and I will see you guys on another video. Bye.